I want to encourage any of you who think that whatever problems you are going through, they are too big for the Lord to care or for the Lord to handle. Psalms 31 through 33 mix David's personal testimony with instruction and calls to praise. We see in Psalm 33 at the beginning that David invites people to sing joyfully to the Lord. This invitation is given out of his own experience as he has learned that the Lord has been with him and stands against the righteous, or excuse me, the wicked. As we break into and reflect on Psalm 34, we see a theme that has been developing since the beginning of the Psalms and is expressed over and over again, and it will continue to be expressed. And that's the idea that the Lord is a refuge for all who look to him and trust in him. We see this theme developed in several of the passages that I list over here on the right-hand side. And this theme is spoken of again in this psalm. Taste and see that the Lord is good. David says, blessed is the one who takes refuge in him. David wants to make sure that we understand that that is a huge point that he's trying to drive home through this psalm. For as you see towards the end of this psalm, again, he emphasizes that the Lord will rescue his servants, those who take refuge in him, and that those who take refuge in him will not be condemned, in contrast to those who do not take refuge in him, that is, who stand against him. Remember Psalm 2:12. Kiss his son, or he will be angry, David says, and your way will lead to your destruction. For his wrath can flare up in a moment. Blessed are all who take refuge in him. In that psalm, as you might remember, the Lord is, or David is talking to the kings who stand against the Lord and who do not bow to the Son that the Lord has anointed to be the eternal King. This psalm continues to build on that theme. We see the contrasts between those who take refuge in him and those who do not. Over and over, we see how, out of his personal testimony, David wants the readers, the listeners to know that the Lord answers, that the Lord delivers, that the Lord hears, that the Lord saves. And so we see David driving home this idea over and over again in this psalm. The eyes of the Lord are on the righteous, and his ears attentive to their cry. The righteous cry out, and the Lord hears them. David's call to the people that they taste and see that the Lord is good, we see is developed in 1 Peter 2:1-3, where Peter, the apostle, calls the people to rid themselves of everything that would obstruct their understanding of the Lord's work in their life and to crave what is good, what the Lord does in fact want to give them. And as David says, taste and see, and Peter says, you have tasted. David's not saying, give him a try. He's not saying, experiment with this. He's saying, put your all into the Lord. And Peter, likewise, looks at the people and he's not saying, you experimented and you found out that this was true. He's saying, realize that even as you put your trust in the Lord, you can really see how good he has been and how much more he wants you to have. And so as David concludes the psalm, we can see that in one sense it anticipates the severe trials that Jesus himself had to endure and the difficulties that he faced. And as Hebrew instructs us, we can look at this psalm as a way of understanding how David anticipated the Messiah himself would have to endure these troubles. And we see that Hebrews shows that even as Jesus, in fact, did endure such opposition, he is an example. This psalm is an example of how we can go to him. So again, I speak to you, those of you who might be discouraged or think that Your troubles are too big for the Lord to care about. They are not. Come to Him, trust in Him, keep going to Him. Do not give up, and understand that those who take refuge in the Lord will not be condemned